Hard deleting users. The thing to understand with users in Office 365 and Azure are that there are two different buckets that users can be located in. The first is the active users, which are the users that have not been deleted in any way. They may be blocked from signing in or not have any licensing assigned, but there's no ticking clock for them, and it's assumed their account and their data is still necessary in some way. The second bucket is the Azure Active Directory Recycle Bin. These users have been deleted either via the Office 365 Admin Center, Azure AD Admin Center, or by PowerShell, and they'll remain in this state until one of three things happen. 1. They are moved back to active users via a restore process. 2. 30 days have elapsed and they've been removed from the recycling bin along with all their data. Or 3. A hard delete is issued, expediting this purge process. As long as a user is still in the recycling bin, they can be restored along with all their data. However, once they are hard deleted or 30 days has expired, they and their data are unrecoverable. The only chance you have of getting any data back after this would be if you were already using a third-party backup tool for Office 365. Now, for our purposes, the active users bucket and the recycling bin are different locations. The users in these two locations do not show up on the same screens or in the same queries, and we will need to make sure that we understand which we are targeting when we try to perform certain actions on our users. For example, when we use the getMSOLUser command by itself, it will only work on users who are in active users. It will not return any users who are in the recycling bin. However, if we use the getMSOLUser with the return deleted users switch, it will only target the recycling bin and return users who have been soft deleted within the last 30 days. It will not return any users in the active users bucket. The same is similar for the remove MSOLUser command, which can be used to perform either soft deletes or hard deletes. If we use the remove MSOLUser command by itself, we are soft deleting the user or users. This means it will only look in the active users bucket and will move them to the recycle bin. If we use the remove MSOL-remove from recycling bin command, it will only look in the recycle bin and it will only move them to oblivion. There is no single command that will move users from the active users bucket directly to oblivion. It must be two separate commands. Also note that there obviously would need to be a user identification of some sort that would be included in these commands that's missing on this page, meaning these commands aren't really complete and are just used to illustrate a point. Also, oblivion is just my way of saying unrecoverable. Finally, note that while soft deletes can be done in PowerShell or the Office 365 Admin Center, hard deletes can only be accomplished via PowerShell for safety reasons, but they'll also happen automatically after 30 days. The full PowerShell commands would use the -user principal name parameter or optionally the object ID parameter if you prefer to use the object ID. So to summarize what's been said thus far, the getMSOL command can be used to look in either bucket depending on whether you use the return deleted user switch, but it can't look in both at the same time. And the remove MSOLUser command can perform a soft delete or a hard delete depending on whether you use the remove from recycling bin switch, but can't do both simultaneously. The restore MSOLUser command, however, does not have any such modifiers. This is because the only target users for restore have to be in the recycling bin, and they can only be restored to the active users bin. The other parameters for the restore command we've already covered on another lesson. Also, the force command can be used for the remove MSOLUser command to skip verification if you're using a script to do the deletion. Now, there are times when you may want to purge or hard delete all users that are in the recycling bin via PowerShell. To do this, you could run a getMSOLUser command with the return deleted user switch, and then pipe that result into a remove MSOLUser command with a remove from recycling bin switch. This would first pull a list of all the users in the recycling bin, and then feed that collection of users to the remove MSOL command, which has the hard delete clause set. The force switch here is optional if you want to skip confirmation. Okay, let's take a look at hard deleting users. Okay, so we're going to hard delete some users, but this all has to be done from PowerShell. But first, we're going to create a user that we haven't been working with. So I'm going to come into the GUI here. We'll say active users. Let's add a user. We'll call him fired guy, because he's going to get fired with a name like that anyway. Fired guy at pfslab.com. We'll leave all this the same. That's fine. We can turn product license off, but let's just let's leave it on. We'll say yeah, he's assigned a license. I don't even know if we have any left, but we could try. Doesn't really matter what his password is. That's fine. Send me an email with it. That's fine too. Okay, so we've got this guy in here. He's called fired guy at PFS Lab. Now we're gonna go around and we're gonna immediately delete him. Let's delete him through the GUI here. Actually, no. Let's delete him through. Let's delete him through PowerShell. Might as well do most of this in PowerShell. So we'll launch PowerShell. We'll connect MSOL service. I think I didn't turn MFA off. It's still gonna prompt me for MFA, but it's quick enough. Yeah, that's all right. There we go. Okay. So now we've got a connection. In order to remove him, we're going to say remove MSOL user, user principal name, fired guy at pfslab.com. Do we want to continue with this? Yes, we do. Okay, so that was good. It worked pretty quickly. Now, if we say get MSOL user, and there's going to be a lot of them, but he should not show up here at all. And I'm going to do a quick scan here, and I do not see FFFFF. No, he's not here in this MSOL user, and that's what we would expect because, as we've said in the PowerPoint, the get MSOL user command without any switches just gives us the active users. If we were to run that command again, only this time we were to specify or to return deleted users, it should give us all those users in the recycle bin, which I think there actually are a lot of. There's a lot of users. I haven't purged the system in a while, but yeah, there's a few here. And at the bottom here, we see fired guy. So this returns all deleted and no active, which is what we expect. So the other thing is that now that we've removed him and moved him from active users to the recycle bin or to deleted users, he should actually show up here under deleted users in the GUI. And I think we went over this when we talked to we talked about soft deleting users throughout the GUI. But here, fired guy now has moved from active to deleted users. He's in deleted, and he's I'm gonna have to refresh this, but he's not even in here anymore. So that soft delete worked. He's now in the recycle bin, and we're going to let's restore him one more time, and then we'll delete him again. Let's do an MSOL restore, and we'll say let's do user principal name. You know what I want to do? Before we do that, let's do a restore MSOL. Oops, should be restore MSOL user, and we'll say user principal name. Let's do Larry Lamb. Now, Larry Lamb, as you can see, is in the active folder, so it should basically say it can't find him because the restore only looks in the deleted users. So just as a proof of concept, it shouldn't say like, oh, we can't restore him. It should say, well, actually, I can't even find him. Yeah, user not found, because it's only looking in the deleted users when you do a restore. But okay, so if we now specify fired guy, it should find him and it should restore him, which it did. Okay, and now in active users, or let's go to deleted users, he no longer shows up. And we come to active users, he shouldn't be here, and he should be here again as well. Okay, so he's now been successfully restored. He's been moved from the deleted or recycled bin users to the active users. Okay, now let's talk about really removing him and hard deleting him. So we'll say remove MSOL user, user principal name, fired guy at pfslab.com. Now, what if I were to put here, and I also want to remove him from recycle bin, right? Well, what do you think is going to happen? The truth is that this is going to fail. You can't do a hard delete in one move and move them from active to that oblivion that we talked about, that black hole. You actually have to do it in 2 steps. You have to first move him to the recycle bin and then remove him from the recycle bin. So this won't find him because that remove user command, if I say yes, it'll say can't do it. Yeah, user not found in the online directory deleted users container. So this remove MSOL user command, if you don't add remove recycle bin, if you just leave it the way it was, it would find him in an active user and would move him to the deleted users or the recycle bin. Once you add this remove from recycle bin, this is where it's going to look. It's going to look in the recycle bin and then perform a hard delete, moving him out of there and making him completely unrecoverable. So it has to actually be done in 2 steps. We'll do the first one without this command. Yes. Okay. That was successful. Now we're going to do this again with this command, and we'll say remove from recycle bin. Same command, just add that at the end. And now he's now been obliterated, and we can't get him back even if we wanted to. We'll refresh these, but he won't be in either one. So he's not listed here anywhere under F or at the bottom. And in the deleted users, he is now going to be missing from there as well. Now, you know what? I'm really just confused by all this, and this is kind of a security risk for me. I don't like to see deleted users that are still hanging around. We've recovered all this, so we don't really need their, we don't need to have these accounts in the recycle bin anymore. So let's go ahead and delete all of them. And we'll say, we'll come back to PowerShell and we'll say get MSOL users and return from deleted users. And I just want to run that real quick to see what shows up. Is it just return from deleted? Oh, sorry, it's return deleted users. Deleted users. Ugh. Okay, so this is all other users in recycle bin. I didn't specify a particular one by UPN, so it's going to return them all. And if I now pipe that into remove MSOL user, again, don't need to specify anybody because it's going to take whatever's piped in, and I'm piping all these users in as a collection. And I'm going to say remove from recycle bin. This command will delete every one of the deleted users and move them, actually hard delete them and move them into oblivion. And I'm going to say force. I'm going to say I don't even want a confirmation request. I just want to do it. So we'll go ahead there. And we'll let it run for a second. It's done. So if I were to now try again to say get MOSL user and return deleted users, you'll see nothing shows up. And if I come down to deleted users and let's do a quick refresh. Whoop. Well, it still looks like they're there, but I'm sure they'll be gone in a second. There you go. There's nothing here, and that's probably okay. So that is how you do a hard delete. It can't be done from the GUI. It has to be done from PowerShell. It has to use the remove from recycle bin, and it has to be once a user has already been deleted, either through the GUI or through a soft delete with the remove MSOL user command. Okay, that's it for this demo. Next up, bulk updating of user properties.